Morning, everyone. Deep thoughts by the dashboard. It is almost 6:30. I was starting to get a little antsy, so I decided to start a little early today. And I just wanted to talk about kind of finding solutions for those things that happen in the classroom on a regular basis. BFC 530's topic today was talking about a failure in the classroom, which it happens. Those of us who have been in the classroom a long time know very, very well that every lesson does not go the way that you think it will, and sometimes it has nothing to do with the kids. Sometimes it has to do with poorly planned lessons. Sometimes it has to do with just not thinking about things. Morning, John. But we make do, and as we teach for longer and longer, I feel like what makes an experienced teacher is the ability to really be flexible with the plan. I've been writing and talking about my AP class quite a lot, the fact that it's quite large, and I've had been having troubles with some transitions. Somebody had suggested on Twitter to me that, why does it bother me so much that it takes them a minute or two to transition? And I really internalized that and thought about it for a little bit, and I think in my head, because I only really get like 43 minutes with them, and maybe on the few minutes coming in it takes them a good 2 to 3 to settle in, and then if we're changing between different activities, losing 5 minutes in the period feels like a lot, because I don't know, 43 minutes doesn't seem like an adequate amount of time to really spend with 34 kids about different types of literature with the assignments that we're doing. So I've been trying out a bunch of different things, and I've been able to come up with a couple of solutions that have worked absolutely beautifully. First of all, rather than spend the beginning of the class talking about what we're going to be doing, I've been sending week-long emails to kids on Monday and prepping them for the next day's class at the end of the class the day before. And what this has really done is it's provided an opportunity for kids to ask the questions so that when they come in the next day, they get right into the activity. No need for me to sort of prep them, tell them a million times what to do. Plus, I've also gotten them into the routine of checking the board when they come in. Instead of asking me, what are we doing today, or what are the specific details, I work really hard to make sure that the specific details are all outlined in front of them, making the learning very transparent, making sure they understand exactly what the learning objective is, and if possible, kind of connecting it to standards when I'm walking around in the classroom, so that they understand why they're doing the activity they're doing, and even more importantly, how it connects to other learning that they're doing. So yesterday we had our first student-led discussion, which I think went really well. And there was, out of the 34, I would say that there were probably about 18 kids who participated well, which means, that there's a little more than half, which means I have to do better in finding ways to get more kids to get involved, which is why Twitter has also worked so well in the past, because it could back channel the conversation that isn't happening in the classroom. So that's something I need to work on. Today, the kids are going to get started working on their talk show segments, which is one of my favorite projects of the year. But I changed it up this year to make it a little bit more substantial. So they all knew who their groups were and what chapter they're working on. I sent that out earlier in the week. I gave them specific directions of, the freedoms they had to sort of come up with the best kind of talk show for the particular segment of their class and the chapter that they're working on, which is amazing. And then the next part that I've sort of added on is, rather than me lead discussion in class every single day about the things that they've read, the group that did the chapter is also going to be responsible for leading a class discussion, coming up with some key questions that they feel really addresses what Orwell is trying to do in the chapter that they're working on. Because the focus of this year isn't what is this book about, it's how does the author convey meaning, in what ways do they do it, how are they successful, what's the impact on the reader because of the choices that they make. Kind of taking it to that next level stuff, not just testing whether or not they comprehended what they read, but can they see the deeper meaning, can they get it. So today in class, which I will be periscoping from, those of you who can get involved, it's around 12:15, my AP Lit class. I'll be walking around to the groups, and you could kind of get an inside look of what a chaotic 34-person group work environment looks like. You could hear the noise level. You could listen to kids working together in small groups planning these assignments. They'll get 2 class periods to work on this as well as the weekend. And basically what they'll do, and I've taught them to use Voxer and Google Hangout to kind of communicate with each other if they can't get to see each other in person, all the while creating a Google Doc that they could all be working on from different locations as well. So the technology has really been an important component to helping these kids develop relationships with each other and with the learning that they're trying to create together. And, I get the opportunity to sort of pop in and see what's going on. And hopefully if you guys have questions for what's going on later, you can do that as well. And, basically in other news, tomorrow is Edscape. I don't know if any of you watching right now will be there, but it would be super awesome if I got a chance to meet any of you in person. I would really look forward to that. Edscape is in New Jersey, so I'm hoping to see you guys there. I'll be working with the Connected Educator panel, which are other authors from Corwin's Connected Educator series. I'll be talking about blogging, working with Brad Curry, who will be talking about his book, All Hands on Deck. And basically, that's it. I hope everybody has a super awesome Friday. I hope maybe 1 or 2 of you were able to get some friends on Twitter. That was the challenge on earlier in the week for Connected Educator Month. Let's work real hard to get folks who aren't aware of these great tools that we have to be aware of them. Anyway, happy Friday, everyone, and I look forward to seeing you in the Twitter sphere.